to it, so I don't really know. I love that you can just place anything and everything, but I kind of like a rhyme and a reason to doing things. I struggle with like purely creative builds. Unless it's like old school Halo Forge, where I just built like Mongoose and Warthog racetracks and stuff. I tend to stick with more survival building specifically. And happy to do the review, Busani. No problem. You have a lot of things and it's late. When I got out of the map and built something not like a base and floors, if you wanted to look at something on the map. It's a perfect thing for Discord there, Ducky. Okay, so this base is Busani TV's. This is a kind of statue podium build over here. Sounds like it's a pyramid of some kind. We'll see what that means because I can't tell from down here. So it should be a cool little build. Let's see. Can I open those? Get off. Uh-oh. Did it crash?
How's this look?
Am I dead?
Think I'll start a new
Okay,
trend?
we're alive. Do I climb or do I go? Oh, interesting. You got like a whole fortress in here. Okay.
Anything interesting out here?
Just noticing all the details. Okay. I don't even know where to start. There's a lot of stems to build a wall around this whole thing. That's the first thing I notice. I already like the lighting effect that you've got going on. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I like that I can just vaguely see inside the base from the outside. I think that's a cool detail. Holy cow. Now this is chaos theory. It's everywhere. Wouldn't even know, like, what do I want to get? Uh-oh. Alright, I'm going to stop touching things. I think there's a lot of items in this base. Lagging me. Oh, perfect. You have arrows and everything. Nice. This. First floor has a gym. Oh, we'll get to it. I like your little, your bed area. That's really cool. We probably will be exploring this in the wrong order, but I like exploring in randomness. It just happened upon things. I think it's the most fun way to do it. I love that you just go for it, dude. Like, it's so much. You're having so much fun with just all the decor. It's like it's haphazard, but it also just feels cool. I don't know, like, I don't even have a good word to put to it. Like, it's randomness, but it also just feels it's fun. I love that everyone's picked up on this pillow idea. This is like, we're gonna just like, everyone's gonna have the same bases at some point because we all just keep loving everyone's ideas. Oh, I like this. I like that you use the Orc Disruptor inside of this. That's really cool. It's like the perfect beacon for the top of a base, honestly. That's a great little detail, dude. Oh, you even have a mini base inside the top. These are the details that I can get down with. Just like, I would never guess that you put a little mini base right there, but I love it at the same time. Yeah, this is another really cool. I really like your little beacon tower things. It's like a hoarder house. Yeah, exactly. But not like a gross hoarder house. Like, it's a cool hoarder house. Yeah, you got little details all over the place. I love that you're having fun with all the different pieces and stuff. I think it's a really interesting little design so far. And I like that it's not just like a pyramid, like like an actual angled pyramid, because those end up being like near impossible to design on the inside, whereas having this more of like maybe a Mayan temple sort of design makes it even more functional. Question is, how do we get to the downstairs. Is there a secret passageway? Go. As the kids say, it adds aura. What do you think? This is a chat of a bunch of unks or something? You think I'm like old? Now I'm just like, how do I get in here, Busani? Oh, nice. Your cup storage. I'm lost. How do I get in? The STEM building. All the way around. I went the wrong way. Boom. This is it. Oh, there we go. Nice. See, this is more the timber aesthetic. This is how my brain thinks. I physically trying to build like what you did upstairs. If I tried to do that in my own base, it would physically hurt my brain. But I like that you have both aspects. You didn't just stick to one. You have both design aesthetics. So you've reached all the demographics. Do I jump in this to go in the basketball hoop? Almost. Fun. There's so many little entrances and exits and stuff. Maybe I should follow the arrows for once. I'm assuming that's the gym, correct? And a garden. Where am I going? I like that these are like self-contained hallways. Meaning like in many actual pyramids, they have kind of access and tunnels and stuff, sort of as made as mazes almost, so people get lost and couldn't actually get to the bottom of the pyramid. And I like that you've like kind of contained those. Yeah, the ball gym. So it's like the basketball court, all the things. And what's up here? Just a little lookout spot. I don't know what it is, but I kind of like it. God, you have so much room to build, I think is the crazy thing. Oh, and you're also building on separate grids too. Interesting. I love that people are starting to do that more and more. Just like little tiny grid changes. Dude, what is this? It's like we're walking into an airport and having to go through like 6 of those spinning carousel things. That is honestly like the trippiest doorway. The way you did that. It was really clever. I don't even know how to get it back to it. Well, it was. Oh yeah, there it is. Love it. Yeah, I definitely like the way you think about walking through a base. I can tell it's the little pathways kind of like just random enough to like confuse you, but also like look visually like this is really nice. Very well done on those. What is this area supposed to be that I'm walking through is the question. Looks like you're having a lot of fun with the different STEM materials. And like, what is all of it? Oh, we'll see the garden, don't worry. I see things and I have to go look at them. You got another beacon on that side. I love the little like loop pieces, and it's like sculpture almost. yeah, not done, but whatever it is, it's interesting. Oh, not that way. Yes, I am a cat. Well, what I am is a person with ADHD. Look, a squirrel. Oh, look, a squirrel. Don't want to miss anything, you know. Got your little target area. You have so much room. Brochacho, thank you for the raid. Welcome in, everyone.
Could use some lemon slices.
I do like that after you finish the story and everything. Really cool that this area just becomes completely used. Like, there's nothing here anymore, and so it's just a blank canvas. But I definitely like what you're doing with this area, Busani. Jeez. Getting late. I can't talk anymore. Wait a second. Dude, you and your mazes. I don't even know where I'm supposed to be going half the time. The garden area. Somehow. We get on the top. And there you go. Is there anything else in the area that you want me to show off? If I missed anything. There's a lot of random little passageways, so I feel like I easily could have missed something. Uh-oh. I'm too young to die. Grounded 2 is such a vibe. It is. It really is. This is what I was dreaming of the entire time I was playing Grounded 1. Was the opportunity to start from square one. Next week? Sounds good. Well, I gotta say, first impressions, I think, easy 4 out of 5. I mean, you have the great thing is you have a blank canvas here, so you have so much room to continue building for all of early access as long as you want, as many buildings as you want. Like, it's a really cool spot in that sense because you just have endless amounts of ability to keep growing your base. So that on that sense, I really like it. I definitely like that you're having fun with the different materials and everything. You're not necessarily like, my brain is very much a like, if I'm going to build a pyramid, it's going to be perfect and symmetrical, and there's not going to be anything different, and you have no problem like deviating from that and just having fun with the design, allowing it to sort of grow and change is depending on the size, the side you're on, what you want to happen on the inside. But you've also created like a simple shape overall that has tons of function in it, and like all this interesting space for interior design as well. And you not only have like pure chaos in your design, but you're also like in the gym area, but it's much more organized, and it's a very different side of it, which is kind of, I think for most people, really difficult to do. They're either chaos or organized, and there's not a whole lot of in between typically. So I think it's very interesting that you're able to mentally juggle both of those signs. But I definitely love that you like the effort and the amount of stuff. There's a lot going on, and you've created a really cool spot for the long term of the build. I'd easily give you a 4 out of 5 on the first impressions. The layout and flow, again, probably 3 or 4. I think you could potentially make some of these like interior stairs maybe a little bit more integral to the base, because I really like kind of how you've integrated these ones into it more. I also like that these the lower levels, like how this is a double height, but you've sort of made this another level that has more functional hallways and stuff that allows you to like navigate around the base, which I think is really cool. Also, even just like your little bridges and stuff, I think you're really coming into your own on like the staircase that's going in this base, or whatever this structure is. I think is really interesting. I think it's you're having a lot of fun with the different materials, even just like the doorways, creating interesting little features. So I really like the way you're experimenting at the moment and just kind of having fun with it and seeing where it goes, just like creating crazy shapes, not necessarily being stuck to one design. Really love the beacon designs as well. I think these are really clever. And the fact that you've got like 3 or 4 of them that are all like totally different, and the use of the orc disruptors, I think it makes them look really cool. Especially because you didn't use the orc disruptors inside the base, because that makes me sick. So I appreciate that as well. But I think it's the layout and flow, I think, is interesting. I think you could push it in a couple of these other places and maybe remove some of the ladders or make more ladders potentially. And so they're like more of the design overall. They're not just like a thing in the corner. So that becomes a larger part of the design. And just sort of my thought is, if you're doing something well, I want you to keep doing more of that. And so I like some of the staircases and how they're integrated and sort of hidden, giving you like the maze effect, like a real pyramid. And I would like to see you kind of continue pushing that. And even if that becomes ways to sort of tie in these other areas. Because what I think is one of the more interesting ideas about this location specifically is that you have a maze right behind this base, and I think the way you've designed sort of these little hallways and stuff that you go through, even like there's sort of like mazes underneath your garden, and this base sort of feels like a maze as well. Like you could start maybe utilizing some of these, like building up a little bit in some of these areas. Maybe if that's something like raising the floor that you've built over here, and then using tunnels is an interesting way. It doesn't look like there's like a ton of room under here necessarily, but maybe utilizing more tunnels and how you kind of utilize this space, which I think is an interesting, fun little idea. If you kind of like build up this level, potentially, you could do a really cool like underground maze and more storage and function spaces. Lets you tie into this as well. That was one of my favorite things in my sandbox build in Grounded 1 is like the secret passageways and like just committing to utilizing secret passages and all that. Like you could build this as an underground area instead of something that's outside. And that would kind of continue utilizing, I think, some of the interesting design ideas that you've come up with already, as a way to kind of like keep pushing them even further. I think they make for interesting, fun bases to run around when there's just secret passages and secret hidden things all over the place. But I think that'd be the only additions I would make to the layout and flow necessarily, are just more of it, and continue building, continue like taking this idea of these tunnels and the interesting pathways you've made, and doubling down on that. The structure and realism, I think you've done a really good job. Easy to give you a 3 or 4 on those. I mean, you've got like full-on fortress craziness with this massive wall, which I think is really cool. It like makes the base super safe in the long term too, so you don't even have to worry about it. But I think you could maybe tie more of these elements in. Like, I think where you've made the designs, and I mean, obviously there's a ton more space and time to add to this, but I like how you've sort of created these sort of entry spaces, and maybe finding ways to like add more structure in, create a little bit more repetition, add some maybe like towers to these outside spaces. That way it's not just one big wall, because you obviously, like comparatively, you have this really flat, simple wall, which, I mean, it's a wall. That's what it's supposed to do. So not knocking you on that necessarily, but you have no fear in just kind of like creating interesting and different spaces and shapes, and don't be afraid to sort of bring that element onto the outside, similar to like how you've created this really cool kind of artistic sculptural piece that could be pushed. These elements could be pushed into more areas, to just kind of continue creating interesting designs as you go. And then the materiality and aesthetics of everything, I think you can... I want to see this level of design, like the way you've done these little pieces. You've kind of created some interesting little design pieces here, or with the lighting, kind of the way you've done these lower levels. Continue that upwards. I think the only thing that I'm not loving about the pyramid itself is that everything around it has so much going on, and then the pyramid itself feels like flat in many ways. And that doesn't necessarily mean that this needs to go like this needs to be jagged, or there needs to be triangles, or it needs to be the actual shape of a pyramid. I think it just needs some different materiality in many ways, where you could break these up with some more of these designs. Whether that's maybe making it more pyramid, like putting some angled pieces here, but break up just so it doesn't feel like a wedding cake, essentially. Is even though that is in many ways like how a Mayan sort of temple would look in many ways, I think breaking up some of these flatter walls with just different designs, whether that's some cool angled patterns, continuing the patterns you have here, maybe adding on some more of these little details, or even just a material change, I guess, where you've done small moments of this where you've got, and I know we don't have a pine curved wall, so it makes it really difficult to do some of these things with the limited pieces we have right now. So I can't really knock you on, like, we only have so much to work with, but I think breaking up some of these bigger walls could really help, like, add the level of detail that you have everywhere else as well. I think that would be a one thing you could change. The functionality of it seems like everything is here, it works. Guess can't really say, do we have like chests and stuff or anything? It's kind of just base and fun at the same time. So it doesn't really have to function insanely well, but at the same time, like, it seems like everything's working. You've got fun spaces for everything. You've got the garden, you've got the protective wall around everything. You have your gym. Everyone's got to have a gym. Looks like a Minecraft pyramid on top. I will definitely improve it. Yeah, I think it's just a little more detail. Or even if you just use these on each corner and maybe make it like curved on each corner, or just break it up a little bit is all it really needs. It's not massive changes by any means, but just a little more material. Maybe if you use some of the other options, they get the red like bamboo outline similar to this, like that alone, using the half walls instead of, I think you're just using quarter walls over and over again. Like using some of the other walls that maybe show up some of these other things just to break it up a little bit more, I think would make a big difference on those things. And the creativity and theme, like, I think the creativity's fun. The gym's really cool. This base location is pretty epic. It's working really well. It gives you a ton of room to just play with and have fun. I really like, even though this is all like one material, which is typically not something I'm a huge fan of, I really like once you're inside, it just looks really interesting and it's intriguing to walk through. So I think your creativity is really coming through, especially like with the beacons, messing with all the little interesting design pieces here, just like continue. It feels like, I mean, you've obviously put a ton of time into this, so you can't build forever. Nothing's ever fully done, you know? So just keep taking these fun elements, these little design decisions you've made, and continue like developing the base overall, and like take the things that are working, like all these interesting design decisions, and just continue adding them to the whole thing, and it'll be incredible before you know it. Because the potential is all there. You have a ton of room to build. You have a ton of interesting things you could build in this place. So I think you just keep sticking with it. You're heading in the right direction. You just kind of have to continue putting time in endlessly, as is building. So functionality, again, yeah, three or four. And then creativity and theming, I think you're at a 4 on that. I think there's a lot of creative things. You just continue pushing the creative ideas you have to that next level and making them sort of incorporate in the entire build, not just like the lower portion or the front of the building. Try to make sure the whole thing kind of hits that same level of creativity and just keep adding fun, interesting things. But in terms of the improvements overall, again, as I said, like add this amount of detail across the whole thing, and you've already got it. Like, it's there. You've got the creativity. You've got the interesting design ideas. You have like little moments all over the base that I think are interesting. The inside of your base, I think, is phenomenal. And it's just bringing the level of detail you have on the inside to the outside, and it's there. Like, you've done a really good job. And then you get to just play more. You just build this thing more. You have all this space to build more. So I think you've got a lot of fun ahead of you as you continue building, and I think you're definitely headed in the right direction, man. But yeah, once again, thank you for letting me show this one off, Busani. Very fun little build you got going on. I'm excited to see how you kind of continue building and what you decide to fill up all this space with, because you've done what many builders struggle with, is you give yourself tons of room, and now you got to keep building, because I want to see all of it build. I want to see, like, I think another thing that would be cool is you finish some of these like more courtyard type spaces where you've kind of built this outside, like find interesting ways to like fill in the space between these buildings if you continue to build outside. Maybe these are like marketplaces and like just little details that you can keep adding in. But I think you're headed in a really good direction though. So once again, appreciate you letting me take a look at it. I knew should have